Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to Open Mic here on my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. It's an honor and a privilege to have you guys joining me here today, as it is every afternoon, as we just take all open forum questions talking about our favorite things in the world, movies and entertainment and all that sorts of good stuff. So let's not waste any time. Let's dive right into it. And the first question today comes to us from Soggy Mini Muffins, who writes, John, reaction to Joker footage. I really like it. I like it. I don't love it. Here's the part that I loved. For those of you who don't know, Todd Phillips, the director of film, released this test footage. And it's really a little editorial piece. It's very cool. The first part of it I like. It's just him, Arthur, standing there with superimposed, a projected clown faces on top of him. That was really cool. I like that a lot. I don't know that I loved his clown makeup. I'm going to be honest. I don't know that I love the clown makeup. Now, I'm the guy who has been the biggest cheerleader for this movie. I've been the one cheering for this. When everybody's saying, you can't have two Jokers. You can't. I've been saying, yes, you can. Having an Elseworld movie is great. It lets you tell us all these kinds of stories. So I am very much excited for this Joker movie, and I'm very much looking forward to it. But I will admit, I was underwhelmed by the clown makeup. Now look, let's be clear here. How the clown makeup looks will have about a 0.02% influence over how good or bad this movie is. Whether I like the clown makeup or not is going to be very irrelevant to how good this movie is overall. It's going to be about the story, the characters, the dialogue, the acting. That's what's going to determine if this movie's good or not whether or not the clown makeup is good. But as the biggest cheerleader for this movie, I will say I wasn't thrilled with the makeup. Little standard. Maybe they were going for a little bit of Cesar Romero kind of Joker look. I'm not sure, but maybe to some people, hey, look, there are a lot of people in this world that are dead scared of clowns. And maybe just having something that looks like clown makeup is enough to freak a hell of a lot of people. A hell of a lot of people. So maybe there's that. So I don't know. I'm reading some people online saying they really like the look. I was a little underwhelmed by it. I liked the first part of that footage they showed with the superimposed projected various clown faces on top of them. That was really nice. I'm not sure I love the clown makeup though. Who knows? Maybe it'll grow on me. And who, by the way, nothing says that's the actual final clown makeup. That just might be a misdirect. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Adam Douglas writes, does Fantastic Beasts 2 open higher than Fantastic Beasts 1, 74.4 million? I think so. I think you've got a lot of Potterheads out there who've been waiting a long time for a new installment of this. The first film, Fantastic Beasts, was pretty well received. I didn't love the first Fantastic Beasts movie, but I liked it. And certainly good enough to be well received. And I think there was a lot of people with that. And there are people been very excited about Jude Law being in there, having a major Dumbledore character in there. And love it or hate it, a lot of people have been talking about the Johnny Depp stuff, sometimes for good, sometimes for bad, but they're talking. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to guess that Fantastic Beasts 2 will score higher. Not quite convinced it'll hit 100 million. Maybe it will. But I do think it's going to beat that the opening weekend for the first Fantastic Beasts. All right. David Atkins writes, check out Death Stranding, upcoming PS4 game with Del Toro and Norman Reedus. Never heard of it. Death Stranding, or have I heard of it? It's not ringing any bells, but I'll keep my eyes open for it. Thanks for putting that on my radar, Dave. Soggy Mini Muffins writes, all Phoenix's Jokers need is a damaged tattoo. Hey, look, you know what? I don't care what anybody else says. I like the damaged tattoo on Jared Leto's Joker. I do. I think it's very applicable. I think that works. I like it. I think it looks good. I think it's appropriate. I like the damaged tattoo on Leto's Joker. I do. I'm not so sure that would work on this particular Joker because this is a different Joker. It's a different kind of Joker. And so I'm not sure that would work. But yeah, I liked it. I like it on Jared Leto. Murray Reich writes, Twilight Zone episode you were trying to figure out is called Living Doll, and the doll's name is Talking Tina. Yeah, I mentioned that this morning. My favorite episode, though, is To Serve Man. Yeah, that's a famous one, too. But yeah, and it's funny because I mentioned this on the John Campea show earlier today. I've had so many people emailing me and tweeting me these damn Talking Tina clips that are going to give me nightmares again tonight, by the way. I'm Talking Tina, and I'm starting to hate you. Oh my God. One of the freakiest things ever put on a screen. If you have not seen the Talking Tina episode of Twilight Zone, oh my God, it freaked me out as a kid. It freaks me out as an adult. I'm going to kill you. It's just nutty. It's nightmare inducing. All right, Ben Rayner writes, Niall, I think you mean Niles. Niles Crane or Dwight Schrute? Oh, that's tough. Niles Crane. Frasier was great. Frasier was great. I loved that show. And I still preferred Cheers over Frasier, but I loved Frasier. And Dr. Niles Crane was certainly a great part of that show. But I'll take Dwight Schrute. I love the Niles Crane character, but I'm going to take Dwight Schrute on that one. Dave Atkins writes, are you a fan of All-Star Superman comic? No, I don't really read it. I've been very disconnected a lot, especially since Rebirth. I really haven't been connected to the comics much at all. I just haven't had time to read. It's a pain in the ass. I mean, the only way I'm even keeping up on any books is the fact that I'm in my car a lot now every day because I got to go back and forth to Hollywood every day now. And because I'm doing that, I'm able to listen to audiobooks as I drive. But that's been pretty much it. And by the way, somebody pointed out yesterday this new book about the history of, let me just see if I got this here, about the history of the relationship between Marvel and DC. What was it called? Like Rock'em Sock'em or Slugfest or something like that. I ordered that book. I bought the book, got it on my Audible. I bought it with my credit on Audible, and I just haven't downloaded it yet, but I'm going to start listening to that book tomorrow. But I just don't, it's been crazy. This thing that I'm working on now, first of all, I was already working way too much just doing my channel. Now I've got this other thing I'm working on that I'll tell you guys more about soon. That is like, I'm just constantly, I'm running in and out. I never know when I'm getting home, and just my entire day is like I haven't been reading anything. So audiobooks is the one thing I've been able to keep up with, just because I'm in the car. Adam Douglas writes, The Grinch tracking its 79 million opening weekend. Does it beat Wreck-It Ralph 2? It's a good question. I'll be honest with you too. I was surprised. I read that a few days ago, and it's tracking technically. It's tracking for anywhere between 70 and 100 million. The Grinch. Box Office Pro, I read the other day, is tracking it for anywhere between 100 or between 70 and 100 million. And I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, but I was a little surprised because honestly, I haven't liked the trailers. I haven't been all that impressed with the trailers. I find that the humor, there's like one or two little jokes that have worked really well for me, but for the most part, I found that the humor in most of the trailers don't work, and it's whatever, but I shouldn't be all that surprised. It's the Grinch. People love the Grinch, man. And visually, it looks really good. Visually, it looks beautiful, actually. The style is perfect. And it's a family film, and it's a Christmas season movie, and all the blah, 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 blah. I shouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I would have guessed 50. Probably would have been my guess. But they're saying tracking from 70 to 100. And really, I guess I shouldn't be surprised at all. It very well could beat Wreck-It Ralph. It very well could, because I don't see Wreck-It Ralph doing much over 100 million. I don't think. But it's going to be an interesting thing to track. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch for sure. Okay, let's see here. Big jump happened. Okay, Warren Lucas writes, if the dusted half of the universe are returned, could the process of bringing them back introduce the dormant mutant gene for future X-Men movies? That's possible. I still think unlikely. There's two problems with that. Number one, they already had their ending of this movie already planned out before there was any thinking of mutants and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't mean you couldn't tag it on, though. The issue with that, though, is you are wiping away all the history of the X-Men, right? You're wiping away, and part of the glory of the X-Men is the history of the X-Men. Now, we talked the other day about how like you're going to have to change the origin story of Magneto a little bit. We're getting too far on that you can say Magneto came out of one of the concentration camps because now he'd be 90. I don't think they want to start with a 90-year-old Magneto. So you can't really go that way. So you're going to have to rewrite the history a little bit. But do you really want to wipe out all of the history? Because to me, one of the great things narrative-wise about X-Men is their place in society. That for a generation, it's been this very precarious, uncomfortable, delicate balance of the society that fears and hates them, the constant going back and forth of mutant rights versus as an allegory for civil rights and things like that. All that history, all that stuff you wipe away if you introduce the notion of the undusting triggers the mutant gene. I'd like to see how they're going to explain their way around, because it already just comes across a little bit too similar to the whole Terrigen effect with the Inhumans that they were trying to do for so long, right? It's going to be neat to see how they dance around that one. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And it's certainly possible that they do a quick add-on saying, oh, the undusting, it caused some mutation in certain human beings. Yeah, you can do that. And now you've wiped away all of the history of the X-Men. I'm not talking about the canon of the other movies. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the standard mythology of the X-Men. And you get rid of it all. You say, no, none of that is part of X-Men. The history of the X-Men, the going through the generations, the various mutations, Professor Charles Xavier, all that kind of stuff. You wipe it all away to say, oh, mutation just started right now. That's a tricky one to do. And look, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't know what the answer is. This is a tricky one. This is really tricky. I don't know what the right answer is, but I think whatever they come up with is going to have some drawbacks. I just think any answer that involves wiping out the entire historical mythology of mutants in society would be a real shame. That would be a real shame, because that's where a lot of the richness of those stories come from. But hey, that's just what I think right now. Again, I'm not pretending I know the right answers, though, because I don't. That's why those guys make the big bucks. All right, Murray Reich writes, how is the $30 a month plan by Sinemia sustainable? That's like $1 a day for a ticket that costs around $15, at least in New York and LA. Well, I mean, look at it. It's a hell of a lot more sustainable than MoviePass was. MoviePass was a movie a day for $10 a month. This triples that. That's significant. It triples that. But look, Sinemia is going to rely on the same principle that MoviePass was relying on. And it's the same principle that Netflix, when it was a DVD service, that Netflix used to rely on. It's the same principle that gyms rely on when selling gym memberships. And that's this, that people will buy the membership, and there's going to be a number of them that use the gym every day. There's going to be a number of them that order a new DVD every 2 or 3 days, and they get it, they watch it, they immediately put it back in the mail and get the next DVD from Netflix. It's going to be like, and there's going to be people who have Sinemia that go to 7 movies a month. What they are banking on, though, like the gyms, like Netflix used to, is that there's also going to be a large group of people who subscribe to the service and like the convenience of it, who actually only end up going to 1 movie a month. Now, that is a tried and true and proven strategy. It's proven with things like gyms, Netflix, whatever, that some people are going to sign up for a service and just really not use it all that much. Those are the people that gyms, old Netflix, and Sinemia and MoviePass, those are the people they make their money off of. Now, you're going to get a segment that uses it a bunch, like you probably would, and I probably would, and people who watch this show would, but a lot of people, the biggest chunk of their membership, probably use it once or twice a month. And remember, while movie tickets in New York and LA cost about $15, there are many places in the country that cost like $7 or $8. I think the average film cost in America right now is like $9.28. That's the average ticket price, I think, which means you're going to get some places even cheaper than that. So you get $30 a month from somebody who uses it one time a month, you're making money. And the profit from that pays for the other people like me who would use the service a lot, and they still end up being ahead. It's a proven methodology, But the reason it didn't work for MoviePass because MoviePasses, their income level was just too low. $10 a month was just too low. That's not enough because then you're not making any money off the person who goes to one movie a month, right? At $10 a month, somebody uses it for one movie a month, you're not making any money on them. At $30 a month, if you got somebody who uses it once a month, you're making $20 off that person. That you can then use that to pay for the other people who go, and it therefore becomes sustainable. So there is a world of difference between MoviePass's application of that methodology at $10 a month, which doesn't even cover somebody seeing one movie a month, versus the application of the methodology by Sinemia, who, if there are a bunch of people who are only seeing one movie a month, they are making money off those people. MoviePass wasn't. Sinemia is. In that, it becomes sustainable. Now, whether it truly is sustainable and can be profitable for them, we're going to have to wait about 6 months to a year to see how that plays out and if that really is. But I have a feeling it's going to work. I think that is the right price point. And we'll see if it actually pays off for them in the end. Curtis Lopez writes, over under 20%. A Star is Born makes over $50 million. Opening weekend? Star is Born, huh? I'm not so sure. Let me look up something. I'm just going to look up a Star is Born box office projection. Let's see, because we know that they're saying Venom could make up to 70 million. They're saying up to 70 million for Venom. Whether that's true or not, we'll have to find out. I'm on... okay, right now, there are some analysts right now who are guessing that A Star is Born will open between 20 and 30 million. 20 and 30 million, which ain't bad for a little drama like that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And then, if that movie's as good as all the critics are saying it is, who have seen it at the film festival already, it's going to have legs. So it looks like they're saying between 20 and 30 million. Whether that actually turns out true, we'll have to wait and see. So I'll take the... but your over-under number is 20%. You know what? 20% is a low number. So I'll take over 20% that it makes 50 million. I'll take over 20. I mean, really, I think it's going to make less than that. But if you're setting the line at 20%, I'll have to take the over on that. Brendan Millspow writes, please, God, John, tell me that isn't the Joker's final makeup. It just looks so stupid. I'm praying there are other tests. Well, here's the thing. Like I've already said, Brendan, I don't like it either. However, let's take a breath and realize we have no idea what the context is. Once we watch this movie, I've already said I don't like the makeup myself. I don't like it. But I'm not going to get terribly worried about it because we may see this movie and go, oh my God, that was understanding this character now and what influenced him and what brings him to that point. That makeup is perfect. We just don't know because we haven't seen it yet. Like, here's the problem. We get these images as film fans. This is what we do. We get this image in our head of what the Joker makeup should look like, but we don't know what kind of Joker it is. Right? Like, Cesar Romero's Joker makeup was great for Cesar Romero and for that Joker. But you put that Joker makeup on Heath Ledger's Joker, which is a very different kind of Joker, it wouldn't fit. The Heath Ledger Joker makeup on that character made sense. It was a reflection of that Joker's personality. And I think that worked. Right now, we have no clue we have no sense of context right now of what this Joker is going to be like, what his, what physical manifestation of his makeup best represent or best embody the personality he's bringing out. Like, so while I don't like it either, let's not start making dictates about what the Joker makeup should look like when we don't even know what the character is going to be like yet. Every single on-screen iteration of the Joker so far has been very unique. Cesar Romero's Joker was very different from Jack's Joker. Jack's Joker was very different from Heath's Joker. Heath's Joker was very different from Jared's Joker. And I have no doubt that this Joaquin Phoenix Joker is going to be quite unique as well. And hopefully, just like all their makeup was all different, his makeup is going to be a reflection of the context that brings him about. So, again, I don't like it, but I'm not going to say it's wrong because it might be the perfect makeup for him. We just don't know yet. So, but I'm with you. I still don't like it yet. I'm just not going to panic about it till I see the movie. Matt Thornton writes, bring me Thanos. Goosebumps every time. Oh, I love that scene, man. It's so like, because really, what is the biggest badass thing you could say in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Like, you are the world's biggest, like, you want to call out Captain America for a fight? Woo, you got guts. You want to call out Iron Man for a fight? Woo, you got guts. You want to call out the Mad Titan? You want to call out Thanos and say, bring me Thanos. That's it. You win. You win. You are the biggest badass in the universe. And at that moment, as he came back to Earth with all that seething hatred, all that vengeance, all the pain that Thor had gone through, all the loss, watching Thanos murder his brother, murder Heimdall, do all the things that he did, and now I've got my Stormbreaker. I opened a Bifrost and I showed up on Earth, seeing you try to ravage this planet I am a defender of. Bring me Thanos. Boom! It's a great moment, man. And you're right, chills. Absolute chills. I love that scene. Let's see. Lee Mallinson writes, I recommend BBC's Killing Eve and Bodyguard. Do you ever have to sacrifice shows you want to watch versus shows that will get you views? Example, Iron Fist. Well, I mean, I didn't do an Iron Fist review. I don't get any views from Iron Fist. I didn't put up an Iron Fist review video. I just have very, very little time to watch TV, so I watch what I want to watch. The MCU is a big thing with movies, so I kind of need to watch Iron Fist because they are, even though they are practically completely separated, they are technically part of the MCU, so I need to kind of stay up to date with it. But watching Iron Fist didn't get me any views. I have seen Killing Eve. I've talked about Killing Eve. I love Killing Eve. I got around to watching Killing Eve because I had a whole bunch of people I know telling me, oh my God, this BBC America show, Killing Eve, you've got to watch it. And so about 2 months passed as I was trying to get caught up on some other TV, and then I finally had an opening that I could watch Killing Eve, and I binged the first season in about 3 days. I've got a treadmill desk right back here that you can't see, but I've got a treadmill desk and I got a laptop with a big monitor on it and my speakers. So a lot of times I just get on the treadmill desk, and so a lot of times I'm on there working. A lot of times I'll just get on there and put on a TV show. And I blew through Killing Eve in 3 days. Absolutely love that show. Never watched Bodyguard. I've heard good things about it. Never really watched it. Not high on my priority list right now. But believe me, man, there's lots of shows that I would love to watch that I just don't have time to watch. I think this one everybody's talking about The Expanse. I've never had a chance to watch that. I've never had a chance to watch BoJack Horseman. I've never had a chance to watch. I mean, there's a lot of big shows that people love to watch that I've just never had a chance to see because I just don't have the time for it. But I slowly start to get around to them, though. Ben Hayusa writes, while I do know Watchmen had issues, I still feel it's an underrated movie, perhaps one of my favorite Snyder films next to Man of Steel and 300. Joker vid, thumbs up. Yeah, a lot of people are liking the Joker vid. I'm one of those people that didn't like Watchmen. I didn't think it was terrible. I didn't think it was bad, but I wasn't all that thrilled with it as an iteration of it. It had its upside. But, and it seems like Watchmen is one of those films that people either desperately love or really didn't care for. And like, for instance, like Dennis Zen loves Watchmen. Me, meh. I thought it had great potential, but I just didn't feel it kind of worked. Man of Steel is obviously, for me, my absolute favorite Zack Snyder's film. 300's next. Rise of the Guardians, the Owls of Gaul, is an animated film that Zack Snyder did that I really quite like. So those are some of my favorite Zack Snyder things. Zeke Said So, like that name, writes, did you hear that Last Airbender is getting a live-action Netflix series? Well, we've been talking about that for a couple of days. I'm a fan of the original show, and I'm excited but scared at the same time. I think that's the exact way you should feel, Zeke. I think you should be scared, and I think you should be excited. And, we've talked the last few days about the fact that, well, the showrunners from the original show are producing and showrunning this live-action show. That's good. That is good. But I caution, I've talked to a couple of people who have been like, that means it's going to be awesome because the showrunners of the animation are showrunning this. That means it's going to be awesome. I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes. Take a breath. Settle down a little bit. Because remember, these guys have no experience with live action storytelling. None. And the only thing they've ever done with live action storytelling was when they were the executive producers of the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Avatar: The Last Airbender, the M. Night Shyamalan, these two guys were the executive producers of that movie. And look how that turned out. Again, there are big differences. There are some significant differences between that situation and this situation. There are. And it is good news that these guys are involved. It's good. But I'm just saying, just temper your expectations a little bit. These are guys who have no idea how to do live action storytelling. And the one thing they were involved with was the Last Airbender movie that they were the executive producers on. I'm not saying that to kill it or to kill your joy about it. I'm just saying temper it a little bit. It's still good news. So Zeke, I believe the way you're feeling is exactly the way you should feel. Scared, yet excited. I think there should be a little bit of that so that when you go and approach it, your expectations aren't too high, your expectations aren't too low. Hopefully, whenever it comes out and it's done, you can just watch it and hopefully enjoy it without overhype or underhype. So here's hoping. Like, I have no interest. I really don't care about it one way or the other. I have zero interest in this. But I hope for you and a lot of people I know who are really looking for this thing, here's keeping our fingers crossed that it works out to be worth the wait. All right. Toothless writes, Trailer Track reports new Bumblebee trailer on Monday. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we've got the first trailer. We're getting to the time that we should be getting a second. You remember I talked the other day that we should be getting a second one for Aquaman here pretty soon. We've already had a couple of trailers for Alita Battle Angel. We may not get another one of those till we get a little bit closer to it. But yeah, I'm ready for a second Bumblebee trailer. Give us a little bit better of an idea because again, the first trailer wasn't to tell us what the movie was about. And it doesn't. We have no idea what that movie's about. We have no idea what Bumblebee's about. I got a feeling the second trailer will start to introduce us to the story of it, and we'll have a little bit of a better idea as to what's going on. So I hope it's good, because I like the first one. The first trailer, I mean. Alex Pitt writes, Bond 25's new release date is Valentine's Day 2020. I'm excited for the movie, but is it a good release date? Let me just double check something here. Okay, let me see here. Yep, they got a new release date of and it was, where is it? Yeah, it is Valentine's Day 2020. Yeah. So that makes sense to a degree because, I mean, they had a target date, but they've been completely thrown off the rails. They're bringing in a great director choice, by the way, with Cary Fukunaga. That was a great choice to pick him up. But you're going to want to give him time to tweak the James Bond script a bit, make it a little bit more his. You're going to want to give him time. You know what? Hey, Deadpool came out. The first Deadpool movie came out. And there's no way you would ever consider that a Valentine's Day movie. But Deadpool came out and it crushed. It crushed. So why not a Bond movie? Why not a Bond movie? So sure, yeah, I can totally work on that date. Absolutely. All right, Curtis Lopez writes, I don't mind the Joaquin Phoenix makeup. It's an Elseworld. Even be the final look. There could be several looks throughout the film, or that is the look and we just don't know the context yet. So, again, I don't like it, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll see it in the movie, and even if I still don't like it once I see the movie, the look of the makeup is going to have very, very little influence over whether or not I like the film or not, right? So I'm not sweating it at all. Let's see. Richard Karate writes, did you see the trailer for the Laurel and Hardy biopic Stan and Ollie? It looks great. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit this morning, actually, Richard. I liked it quite a bit. I liked it a lot. And as I've said the last couple of days, the most exciting, Coogan's great, but the real exciting thing to me is seeing John C. Reilly doing dramatic stuff. Because while we know him for his comedic chops, rightfully so, because he's great comedic chops. He's got great comedic chops. Seeing him get to flex his dramatic muscles a little bit in a role like this, outstanding. Just outstanding. And I love the trailer. Now, the movie might be garbage. Sure. We've seen plenty of great trailers to horrible movies. This might be garbage, but I got to tell you what, it's got me excited. It's got me excited to see it. When I was a kid, my parents would let me watch like these old things of Three Stooges, Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy, like these things. And I have a lot of fond memories watching those things when I was a kid. And to see them brought to life like this and John C. Reilly taking a role like this, very excited. Very excited, man. Louis Blanco writes, I want a Rocket/Bucky series. How much for the arm? You know, it's something funny. I've had people writing, I want a Bucky and Falcon series. I want a this and this person series. Rocket and Bucky. Well, I don't know. Rocket and Bucky had one exchange between them in the movie, right? I think I just felt a minor earthquake. Anyway, they had one minor exchange between them in Infinity War. Right, and that was it. I think I would be more down for a Rocket Thor thing, but we're not going to see Thor get a series because they're using him in movies. I mean, I would be down just for a Rocket and Groot, but that becomes problematic now that we've seen Infinity War. But we all know there's going to be another Groot, or Groot's coming back in after that, so that's fine too. But Rocket and Bucky would be interesting. But that is one of the great lines in Infinity War. Oh, I'm going to get that arm. I just loved when he said that. How much for the gun? Not for sale. How much for the arm? Not for sale. Oh, I'm going to get that arm. I loved it when he said that. That was a great line. Square Buzz HQ writes, saw Life Itself. Loved it. Check it out soon. I'm telling you what, that is one of the films that I struggled yesterday because I had time to run and check out and see one movie. I opted to go see A House with a Clock in Its Walls. And I reviewed it this morning in case you didn't see it. Not bad. Not bad. I was expecting hot garbage. I'll be honest with you. I was expecting absolute hot garbage from that movie. And it's not bad. Not great. I'm not sitting here telling you to run out and see it. But I don't regret seeing it. It has some entertainment value. It's not bad. Anyway, I was torn between going to see that and going to see Life Itself. Because that totally has a This Is Us feel to it. And I believe it's by the same guy who does This Is Us. Anyway, but I've been very intrigued about that one. And I know Ann wants to see it. Ann wants to see it badly. So I'm going to be checking that out. So thank you for the recommendation, Square Buzz. I appreciate that, man. Raymond Verada writes, just helping out JTU got into an accident. He did? I didn't know that. His friend April put up a GoFundMe to help with the medical bills. Look out for JTE Movie Thinks on Twitter. I'm sorry. I did not know that. It's funny. I was like a week and a half ago, I was in a restaurant in Burbank, a restaurant called Market City Cafe. It's actually my favorite Italian place in LA. But we're sitting in there, and this is just like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I saw out the window, and JT, I think he was walking with his mom or his grandma or something. It was just, well, hey, there's JTE. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, I don't mean to take time away, but I really want to go over to JTE's Twitter here. Let me just see what's going on here. Sorry, I'm just a little concerned at the moment. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. These are pinned tweets. See, on Thursday morning, JTE was in an accident, and we need your support if you're able. Oh, no. He was taken by ambulance to get medical attention. He had to receive x-rays for his arms. Sorry I'm taking up our time for this, guys. I was just, Okay. Well, there we go. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention, Raymond. Eric G writes, I like how you see him performing with those old Tonight Show type of curtains behind him. Okay. I like how you see him perform. Yes, I like the setup of it. The setup was good. And like I said, we were talking about the Joaquin Phoenix Joker thing, footage again. The projection as that stuff was going on face, I thought was very creepy. I like the background of it. I like the music that's playing. A lot of it. It's just when it actually showed him in the makeup. I wish they didn't even show us that. You know what I mean? I kind of wish they didn't even show us that. But yeah, I completely agree with you, Eric. That's the setup for it was great. I loved it. Drink with a Mexican writes, if Wonder Woman and Aquaman both hit $1 billion at the box office, what are the chances of getting a new Justice League movie with Affleck and Cavill? 0. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. First of all, Aquaman's it's pointless to even speculate. Aquaman's not making $1 billion. Let's just get that out of the way right away. Aquaman's not making $1 billion. And by the way, it doesn't need $1 billion to be considered a success. Aquaman does not need to hit $1 billion to be considered a success. All right? So let's just be clear about that. Doesn't need $1 billion. But also, let's be clear, it ain't hitting $1 billion. There's no way. Wonder Woman has the chance. Wonder Woman has the chance to hit $1 billion. It depends on how much damage has been done to the DC brand. Because again, you cannot underestimate the fact that Justice League comes out, it's supposed to be your crown jewel in your cinematic universe, and Wonder Woman's in it. Wonder Woman's there. She's a key character in the movie. And it makes the lowest amount of money out of any of your movies. At one point in time, I would have said Wonder Woman would most likely get $1 billion. Well, Wonder Woman 2, I should say, would most likely. But after we saw what happened with Justice League, I'm not so sure about that. But it's still possible. Not possible with Aquaman. Is possible with Wonder Woman. But nope, none of that wouldn't change anything. That really wouldn't change anything at this point. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. Mike Hill writes, I think we will see Rune King Thor in Avengers 4. I don't think so. I don't think so. Look, they've already done a lot of stuff with Thor, and they've had Thor go through a lot of changes in the movies and stuff like that. I think the Thor that we see in Infinity War is the Thor in all that same way that we're going to get in Avengers 4. So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much the template for it. But anything can happen. I mean, they've done stranger things, so I don't know, but that's just my guess. Ivan Prito writes, I live in South San Francisco, and the nearest AMC is in San Francisco, which is 15-minute drive. I go to the movies a lot. Is A-List worth the drive? By the way, my last name is pronounced Prieto. Oh, Prieto. There you go. Okay, Ivan. Yes. I mean, I don't know the AMC theater specifically. Hopefully it's an AMC theater that's got like a Prime in it. It's got a Dolby theater in it. It's got an IMAX in it. Hopefully it's one of those really good AMCs. If so, is A-List worth it? Oh, hell yes. 15-minute drive? Yeah. Yeah. Now, I'm lucky. I've got one of the most major AMC theaters in the country, a 15-minute walk up the road from me. So I walked there to go see movies. So I'm lucky. But for a 15-minute drive? Yeah. I mean, then again, it all depends on your viewing habits as a film fan. What are your specific viewing habits? Do you like to go to the movies 4 times a month? Then A-List is for you, man. Hell, even if you go 3 times a month, A-List is for you. Because I'm going to guess San Francisco, the tickets are probably about $12. Probably about $12 for a ticket in San Francisco. Not counting Prime or IMAX, whatever. And with A-List, you can get Prime tickets and you can get IMAX tickets and all that kind of stuff. But let's say the average ticket is like $12, $13. Okay. With tax and whatever, that's go see 3 movies, you're spending $40. Your AMC A-List costs $20. Is it worth it? I think so. And if you go to more movies than that a month, oh, then hell yeah, it's a no-brainer. At that point, it's a no-brainer. Curtis Lopez writes, will we ever see Hush in a Batman movie. It's totally possible. That's totally possible. Look, there have been a number of things that people have talked about and asked about, and like Hush is one of them. Long Halloween's one of them. Court of Owls, although they've done a little bit of Court of Owls things in the Gotham stuff, although that wasn't really Court of Owls. Anyway, Court of Owls and nothing. Yeah. I mean, look, it's again, Curtis, when you use the word ever. Could we ever see this? Well, yeah. You could almost say anything, and it's possible that it could ever happen, right? But with a Hush, yeah, you could see that. Murray Reich writes, yay Browns indeed. To all my friends in the Cleveland area, yay Browns. I have been cheering for this team for a good year now. It's like, come on guys, win a game. I think they said it was like 623 days since the last time the Cleveland Browns won a game. Think about that. And over 1,000 days in which they had only won one game. They won no games last season. They hadn't won any this season up until last night. And they only won one game the season before that. That's crazy. And they try so hard, and they've been playing well this year. That's the thing about the Browns this year. They've been playing well. In the game they lost and the game they tied, they could have won those games. They played well. So I was really happy for the Browns and for Browns fans. You never like to see anybody go winless. That's terrible. John Harrison is going to have to wait till I go back through the jump. There we go. John Harrison writes, for the X-Men, they could say that telepaths have been making people forget there are mutants. And when the dusting happened, the telepaths got dusted. No normal people remember there are mutants. It's a possibility. It's a little bit of a stretch, though. It's a little bit of a stretch. If you're saying basically mutants have been controlling the human race, because really that's what you're... If telepaths did that, then basically you're saying telepaths could do anything and control the entire human race. So that's a bit of a leap. However, the basic mechanics of what you're proposing is something that I've heard other people propose. That the mutants have been there, but for X reason, no pun intended, for X reason, whatever X is, for X reason, humanity has just not known about them. Whether that's because Professor Xavier has been making everybody forget or not know anything about them. Whether that's because they've just been able to keep it all secret. Whether it's because, like in the movie, or not the movie, in the TV show Grimm. Remember that show that was on a couple of years ago? I loved that show. I really did. But there was a little bit of a mutant type of thing with it where you had these things called Vessin. And Vessin are like fairy tale monsters. Werewolves and mole men and blah, blah, all the monsters, right? They're all called Vessin. And there's this thing called the Vessin Council, which is this high council of all the Vessin. And their main rule is you've got to keep a low profile. Because to humanity can't know that we exist, says the Vessin High Council. And if you're a Vessin and you ever risk expose, like you go out openly and expose yourself as a Vessin, the Vessin High Council is going to send some people to kill you. Because they do not want humanity knowing about the Vessin existence. So there's that, maybe it's the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants or something like that, right? Or whether it's the Hellfire Club, that's like a governing body of mutants that keeps the lid on mutants to keep us out of the spotlight that people do not know we exist. So whether it's telepathy or imposed self-government or whatever, the notion's been around, well, what if mutants have been around and for X reason, the general public hasn't known about it? It's going to be a challenge to come up with X reason. Whatever that variable is, that's going to be challenging. Whatever you come up with, there's going to be drawbacks to it. But it is a philosophy and a possibility that a lot of people have kind of suggested before, John. So let's see if they actually turns out to be that way. All right. Alan Gonzalez writes, were you able to watch the Netflix Next Gen? The animated film. No. I had no interest in it. But my kids liked it a lot, but I think it was better than I expected. Not awesome, but not that bad. Yeah, it looked to me like a poor man's Big Hero 6. That's what the trailer for Next Gen looked to me. I mean, it didn't look bad, but it looked like a poor man's Big Hero 6. So Again, I have very limited time to watch just random stuff that comes up on Netflix. Although I watch a hell of a lot of Netflix, but it's always me trying to get caught up on stuff on Netflix, right? But that's one that didn't stand out to me. So I took a pass on it, and I haven't really heard, like, you're really the first person, Alan, in a long time that's really even brought it up. So it's not like a lot of other shows where people are saying, John, I saw it, you got to watch this, whatever this is, right? I haven't been getting a lot of that for Next Gen. So, I don't know, I'm probably going to take a pass unless I hear more people come out and say it's worth watching. But until then, I'll probably take a pass. Let's see. Tristan Larison writes, we are Sex Babam, and we're here to make you think about death and get sad and stuff. One of the great lines from Scott Pilgrim vs. We're Sex Babam, and insert line here. We're Sex Babam and blah, 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 whatever it is. I love, you know what? It's funny. It's weird how I was thinking about this. I was thinking about Scott Pilgrim vs. the World the other day because I went to go see A Simple Favor that has Anna Kendrick. And for whatever reason, got thinking the last time I saw Anna Kendrick, like in person, was I used to do an annual party at Comic-Con. And this one year, we had the cast and crew from Scott Pilgrim there because we were honoring Edgar Wright. We were honoring Edgar Wright with this award we had created called the AMC Film Fanatic Award. And we were recognizing and honoring Edgar Wright. So Edgar was there, and at the time, he was dating Anna Kendrick. And Anna Kendrick, who, of course, is in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And it just made me think about that movie again. And I haven't watched it in a while. And it all takes place in Toronto, Ontario. The whole movie takes place in Toronto. So extra little cool thing there for us Canadian kids. But yeah, I got to watch that movie again, man. So thanks for bringing that up. Let's see. Eden Van writes, what if the undoing of the dusting creates a tear in space-time and brings the X-Men into the existing MCU universe? Kind of nerdy. I don't think that's what they do. Nah. Maybe something like that work in a comic book. In a cinematic universe that even in some degree tries to take itself seriously, to any degree. Like, not super seriously, but to even some degree. Nah. Like they undo the snap and all of a sudden you hear the old cartoon X-Men music. Na 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 na, and you see like, oh, the sky rips open and in comes falling Wolverine and Cyclops and Storm. Like, nah. I'll take a pass on that one. I don't think that one would work, to be honest with you, Eden. Keith O'Neill, but now I want to see the sky rip open and hear the X-Men music. Na, 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 na. I want to see that. All right. Keith O'Neill writes, movie theaters near me now rarely play 3D versions of films now. Do you think 3D movies will be a thing of the past in the next couple of years? I do, yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny because in Canada, at Cineplex, the main dominant theater chain in Canada is Cineplex Odeon. Like, you can't go to the movies without going to a Cineplex. I mean, that's just it. But they still insist on playing a lot of movies in 3D because they can gouge you on ticket prices by doing that. But more and more, like at AMC Burbank 16 up the street from me, whenever I go in the movies, at the ticket stand where the person collects your tickets as you're going in, they always used to have this big rack with 3D glasses in it for all the people who are coming in going to a 3D movie. So you go, hand in your ticket, they see, oh, you're going to a 3D movie, and they give you a pair of 3D glasses. They don't even have those out anymore. Like, 3D movies are such a rarity now there that they don't even have those 3D glass stands out anymore. Robert Meyer Burnett and I were talking on The Weekly Hero the other day about the fact that, you know, they even stopped making, they stopped making 3D TVs. There still might be like one vendor that does it, but I remember 3D TVs was the big hot thing and every manufacturer was making a version of a 3D TV. Now, like, none of them do. 3D is a blight. This is just my opinion, but 3D is a blight on the movie-going experience. I just hate 3D. I'm not saying you should hate 3D. Maybe you love 3D. That's great if you do. I find 3D to be the most useless, pointless gimmick in the history of film that adds nothing to it. It's just a pain in the ass. I got to go into a theater, see these images that a director and cinematographer have painstakingly put together and with beautiful colors and images, and the first thing I'm going to do is put tinted film over my eyes. I hate 3D. I would love for it to, but I mean, I'm not even going to say I want it to go away because it doesn't play in enough theaters now, because there was a time where it's like so many of the showtimes are taken up with 3D screenings. And like if I want to see the movie at the time I want to see it in, I got to see it in 3D because they're not playing it in 2D at that time. Well, crap. That's when I wanted 3D to die. Now it's so rare that it doesn't really affect me. So since it doesn't affect me, I'm not going to pray for it to go away because I know there are people who still enjoy it. So that's fine. As long as it doesn't affect my movie going. But yeah, man, I remember there was a time when 3D was getting really, really hot, and it's like you would have a hard time finding a screening of a movie you wanted to see at a time you wanted to see it that wasn't in 3D. And that used to piss me off so much. That's where I got my hatred for 3D. Like, I just didn't like it before, but then when it was interfering with my movie going, I started to hate it and get this real seething, angry, and hatred for it, right? So anyway, there's that. But now it doesn't really affect me, so I'm not going to hope for it to die. But I do think it's dying, and I think it'll be gone pretty soon. But then guess what? At some point, a new technology will be introduced to 3D. And look, I'm telling you what, 3D's next big surge is when they figure out how to do it right without the audience having to wear glasses. When they figure out to do 3D in a way that you don't have to wear glasses, that's going to be the next big one. I still don't want all movies to be that, but that'll be the next big surge in 3D, I think. I could be wrong, though. Let's see. Levi Rhodey writes, I love Dexter, but every time I see Michael C. Hall in anything else, all I see is Dexter. So my question is, did Dexter help or hurt his career? Well, look, every actor in the world would kill to have had a universally loved, celebrated, successful series like Dexter. Everybody would love to have that. Now, has he been typecast as that, and has that presented challenges for him moving forward? Because success is sometimes a double-edged sword, right? Success is sometimes a double-edged sword. You want success, but sometimes there's a drawback to it. You want everybody to love and adore you as Dexter, so they do. But then because they loved and adored you as Dexter, sometimes they'll have a hard time seeing you as anything other than Dexter. Although he did play John F. Kennedy in The Queen, and I thought he did a really good job with that. And I like Michael C. Hall. I think he's really good. I think he's really sharp. Honestly, I'll tell you a little Michael C. Hall story. There was a girl that used to work with me. Her name's Serena. And she is a massive Dexter Michael C. Hall fan, right? This is how cool Michael C. Hall is. My friend Serena, who used to do some work with me, this is years and years and years and years and years and years ago. Michael C. Hall ended up doing a movie. He was a villain in the movie Gamer that my friends Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor directed with Gerard Butler. So Michael C. Hall is a villain in that. And I'm talking to the guys, the directors of the movie, one day, and I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor? And I gave them Serena's phone number. And I was like, could you have Michael C. Hall give this girl a call? I think it would just make the sunshine on her life. If you could get him to give her a call. And I gave him their number. I gave them her number. Never knowing if they'd actually pass it along. And even if they did pass it along, like, look, if I'm some dude and a friend of mine said, hey, can you give this random girl you've never heard of just a call and say hi just because a buddy of ours said, I'd probably go, no. No. So I didn't even know if Mark and Brian would pass on the number. And if they did, if Michael C. Hall were going, is this a joke? Like, call some girl I've never met before as a favor to a guy I've never met because I'd never met Michael. But you know what he did? He went, yeah, sure. Pulled out his phone, called her up, made her month. He didn't have to do that. Damn cool guy. Damn cool of him to do that. And you know what? I don't think I ever have met him. I remember I went to the set of Gamer once. I was on set of Gamer, but he wasn't there that day. So I don't think I've ever met him. And yet he did that. Super cool of him to do. But anyway, yeah, I do believe there are a number of people who see him. And I've heard some people say they saw him on The Queen. It's like, man, all I could see was Dexter. So it's a blessing and a bit of a curse. sometimes success is a double-edged sword, right? It's like bloggers. I remember back in the day when everybody would have their bloggers, like you'd want to put out, remember before there was Reddit, there was Dig. Do you guys remember Dig? That was the big thing. If somebody put your article up on Dig, boom, your article would explode, right? So bloggers were always writing the stuff, hoping that their article would get on Dig and people would upvote it enough that it became a thing. But the problem was, because this happened to me a couple times at the movie blog, I'd write an article and, okay, it would get featured on the front page of Dig. Yay! Except then my site crashes because it couldn't handle the amount of traffic that was coming in. Success has some downsides sometime, and I think Michael C. Hall is experiencing some of that. All right, Patrick Conway writes, love the fear in the Black Order's eyes for Thor. I don't remember that. I don't remember them looking afraid because they had dealt with Thor already. But now Maw wasn't there. Maw dealt with Thor. Thanos dealt with Thor. But I don't remember. I got to go back and watch that again now. I'm going to go back and look for that, Patrick. Dervunderbar writes, just watch X-Men 2, X-Men United, the best of the trilogy. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I'm telling you, for a long time, I thought X-Men 2 was the best comic book movie ever made. X-Men 2 is awesome. Just awesome. I love that movie. Not a great title, but I love that movie. It is magnificent. And to me, still in the top 10 comic book movies of all time. And I think other than Logan and X-Men Days of Future Past, I don't know, it might be tied with X-Men Days of Future Past for me. But other than Logan, it might be the best X movie ever made. I love that movie. Dervunderbar writes, whenever you go do, I have expected you to start singing the Inspector Gadget theme. All right, last couple of questions here, guys. Lee Mallinson writes, DC seems to have more erroneous reported news than most. Remember Bay directing Lobo? Example, crew member said that Wonder Woman was a mess. Why do you think that is? No, I think everything does, but it's just that people are looking for things being said. Look, that crew member saying Wonder Woman was a mess. Look, a lot of people, including me, said, don't listen to that. What's the source? Unless it was Hollywood Reporter or The Verge, it's usually some anonymous person on Reddit says, I heard that I talked to a crew member who said this movie's a mess. Why listen to that? Honestly, whenever I see any site run with something that came from an anonymous poster on Reddit, I'm like, why are you running this? Why are you running this? It just makes no sense. It just makes no sense. So, yeah, I don't know. Zane Ball writes, since we share an interest, I wanted to ask, do you have to have a degree to get a sports broadcasting gig nowadays? No, not at all. You just have to be good at what you do. But look, education always helps, man. Like, whenever I was hiring for people, I would always look to see what's the background. And a lot of times I'd see a journalism degree, whatever, that would always get my attention. Does it help? It absolutely helps. But I know a couple of sports broadcasters that don't have degrees in, the field of sports broadcasting, but they've just done things that have contributed to it and got them really good at it. Look, I don't have a degree in broadcasting. I don't have a degree in journalism. I just started my movie blog and I just started talking about movies there. And then I started like the world's first movie related podcast. And I just started doing that and I think I'm pretty good at it. And I just did it and did it and did it. And, here I am. So, and I think a lot of people are sportscasting the same thing. So do you have to have one? I don't think so. But you better be working your ass off. If you're not going to have a degree in that stuff, you better be working your ass off to give yourself opportunities to get really great at it. That's what I would suggest. But I'm not an expert at that. I'm just telling you my point of view. Let's see. Johnny5619 just sends in a $1 super chat. Thank you so much, Johnny. Appreciate that, man. Dragonclaw writes, I think Joker's makeup might reflect the era. That's true. That's true. That is also something, again, Dragonclaw is exactly what I was talking about. It all depends on the context. And you're absolutely right. Era is part of the context. And look, I'm telling you, once we get to see the character in the context that he's in, that makeup that he wears might end up being the most horrifying, terrifying thing we've ever seen. once we get the context. So again, I'm not big on it. I'm with you. I'm with a lot of you. I don't like it. But I'm not getting too worked up about it because let's wait and see it in context. And like some of you guys have mentioned too, who knows? Maybe this isn't the final rendition of it. Maybe there's several different... We just got to wait and see. I still think there's a chance he doesn't wear any makeup in the entire film, but that's a topic for another time. All right. Trail Shredder Juan Malagon writes, I like that name. John, you're awesome and make the workday go by so easy. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Trail Shredder. I appreciate that, man. Look, listen, me getting to do this is so much fun. I start off on my shows with, it's an honor and a privilege to have you guys. You know what? It's not just a line. It is an honor. There are, I don't know, how many of you guys are just in the live chat right now? In the live chat right now, 500 people in the live chat right now, right? That's 500 people who just want to hang out and talk movies with me. That's ridiculous. That's such a privilege. So thank you, man, and thank you for letting me be part of your day, man, and thanks for the kind words. I appreciate that. I'm upset, writes, thoughts on Cars trilogy, like the third one, other two sucked. I didn't think the first one sucked. I didn't think the first one was in the upper echelon of the Pixar films, but I didn't think the first one sucked. I thought the first one was okay. It certainly had some heart. Second one, terrible. Third one, I didn't like all that much. But, John Lasseter, Cars was John Lasseter's baby. John Lasseter has this thing about Route 66 and old classic cars and the old idea of driving cross country and all that kind of stuff. He was so in love with it that even though the Cars movies didn't work, he just kept doing them. And John Lasseter, who built the greatest animation company as far as quality of movies goes in the history of the stuff, and he's obviously not at Pixar anymore, but to me, that was his one creative flaw. His one creative flaw and his one creative blind spot was Cars. It's something they should have just let go after the first one, but it was so ingrained in him that he just refused to let it go. And with all the brilliant things creatively he did at Pixar, the one creative flaw that he had, I think, was Cars. Big Vic 5BN writes, Batman and Robin released in 3D. Everybody chill. Was it released in 3D? I don't even remember that. That just would have been a whole new level of getting me pissed off, right? If I had to waste my money to see in 3D. But you know what? No. I take that back. I think you're right. I think it was really, that's right. It was. And they did some really corny things to try to take advantage of the 3D. Oh, I totally forgot about that, Big Vic. Why would you no other way to watch it? But then later I had the opportunity, because I like Avatar a lot, I had the opportunity to go and watch it again in non-3D, and I'm like, oh, no, I take that back. This movie is just as good in 2D as I thought it was in 3D. So that was my kind of thing. But yeah, it was pretty cool that way. All right, I said that was the last question, but a couple of you snuck a couple in. So no more questions, guys. I'll take these last two. William Rivera writes, chances we see Adam Warlock soon in the MCU since he was teased at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. And do you think he'll appear in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or the next Avengers? I honestly don't know. Remember, they have teased other things before in post-credit scenes at the end of certain movies that they've never then followed up on. They've done that before. So I'm not really sure. Maybe it was a part of James Gunn's plan for Guardians 3. I certainly am not expecting anything in Avengers. At least not Avengers 4. I'm definitely not expecting anything Warlock related. Adam Warlock related. Andy Warlock. That's his brother. Andy Warlock, who works at the grocery store. Anyway, I'm certainly not expecting an Adam Warlock in Avengers 4. It could have been a part of James Gunn's plan to use Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We'll never know that now. So I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is a possibility. I don't think Avengers 4 is, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is. ZOMG Ruler writes, I think the Joker movie might be good now. Well, I mean, I've thought all along. Look, if you're getting Joaquin Phoenix on board, I think you got a very good chance of being good. Not because he's there, but because if he read the script and he thought it was great, then that's a check mark in the right box. Doesn't guarantee it's going to be good, but I mean, you got the right people involved, and it seems like a winner to me. We'll have to wait and see now. I mean, at least we know we're going to get a great performance, but we're just going to have to wait and see. But I thought the whole time that this could be very good. But then again, you can never guarantee anything. This might be a hot mess of a terrible movie, or maybe it'll be the greatest comic book-based movie of all time. We're going to have to wait and see. All right, guys, that will do it for today's installment of Open Mic. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this and letting me be a part of your day, guys. I really appreciate that. This weekend, we're going to have a bunch of companion videos. I've got a whole ton of questions from this week that I never had chances to get around to, so I'm going to be putting up some companion videos this weekend. Keep your eyes open for that. And, of course, I'll be back again on Monday, guys, as the John Campea Show returns on Monday. Make sure you come back and join me then. That'll do it for me for now, guys. Thank you so much for being here. My name's John Campea, and until my next video, bye-bye.